These are movies Eddie Murphy was almost in, but wasn't. He was originally going to star in Bad Boys opposite Wesley Snipes, but obviously that didn't happen. The role of Winston Zeddemore in Ghostbusters was written with him in mind, which he turned out in favor in starring in Beverly Hills Cop, and Winston eventually went to Ernie Hudson. One time was actually considered to play the Grinch in The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. That eventually obviously went to Jim Carrey, but it makes this picture a little more interesting. Was considered to play Jules in Pulp Fiction, but that role went to Samuel L. Jackson. He was offered the lead role in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but turned it down. The role eventually went to Bob Hoskins, and Eddie Murphy says he deeply regrets that decision. He was the director's first choice for the film Candyman, the original Candyman. He would have been the Candyman, but that didn't work out. He was the original choice for Stephen Hiller in Independence Day, which would obviously get to be played by Will Smith. He was actually considered for the voice of the genie in Aladdin, but eventually got to be in a Disney movie, and that role went obviously to Robin Williams. He was actually considered, I guess it was for the Norman Jewison version of this, as Malcolm X in Malcolm X, but that role eventually and obviously went to Denzel Washington. Frank Oz apparently wanted him to be the voice of Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors. Adam Sandler tried and wanted to co-star with him as Dr. Buddy Rydell in Anger Management, but couldn't get him, but did get Jack Nicholson instead. He turned down the role of James Carter in Rush Hour in order to star in the film The Holy Man, and then Rush Hour went to Chris Tucker. Was considered for the movie Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home as a kind of UFO file kind of guy who gets involved with Captain Kirk. Star Trek IV is the one where they go to 80s San Francisco and they're palling around and stuff. Eddie Murphy has said he very much wanted to go on the ship and be like, beam me up, Scotty, and like he really wanted to be like a guy in a Starfleet uniform, and they sort of completely misunderstood what to do with Eddie Murphy in this. So the thing they pitched was not actually what he wanted to do. So he turned it down, and because he wanted to be on the ship, so they ended up like completely changing the role and gender swapping it, and eventually making it the mom from Seventh Heaven. Was considered for the role of Furious Styles in Boys in the Hood, but that role went to Lawrence Fishburne. Was considered for Driving Miss Daisy when Bette Midler was going to be in it, and obviously it changed into what it became later. Was considered for Chris Rock's role in Lethal Weapon 4. He was actually considered for Michael Keaton's role in Gung Ho. He was considered to star in the film Critical Condition, but that got redeveloped and became a Richard Pryor vehicle. He was considered to be in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels playing Steve Martin's part, but that didn't work out. He turned down the lead role in Mickey in order to star in The Distinguished Gentleman. That role eventually went to Michael J. Fox. Inglourious Bastards, this is sort of a rumor, but several people who worked on it said he was very much considered for that movie. Not sure what, but they all say it, so I don't know.